Okay, so ready to like totally rethink birthdays.
Hmm.
Because today we're going to dive into like the unexpected joy of celebrating solo.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, ditching the party hats and the crowds and like exploring what happens when you just make your birthday all about you.
I love that.
Right. And the source material that we're going to be using for this deep dive comes from this group called the LPots community.
Okay.
And they've put together this really intriguing guide on how to rock a solo birthday.
That's cool. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so they're kind of like giving us permission to hit the pause button on all the social expectations and like really focus on what a birthday means on a personal level.
Mhm.
And they start with a simple but pretty powerful suggestion to like begin your day with reflection.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think that's a great place to start.
Mhm.
Instead of like rushing into the day, taking a few moments for introspection can really enhance the overall experience.
Yeah.
And they suggest things like journaling, looking back on the year's highlights and challenges, or even just like quietly contemplating hopes for the year ahead.
It's almost like giving yourself a birthday pep talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A time to acknowledge how far you've come and set intentions for the future.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of research on the psychological benefits of gratitude and self-reflection, especially on significant days like birthdays.
For sure.
Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can boost happiness, reduce stress, and even improve sleep quality.
So we've kicked off the day with some thoughtful introspection. Now, I'm guessing this is where the treat yourself part comes in?
Absolutely. The LPot's community emphasizes indulging in activities that bring you like genuine joy.
Okay.
It's about personalizing the celebration and doing things that resonate with you, regardless of what others might expect.
I love that.
That's-
So what kind of indulgent activities are we talking about here?
Well, they suggest a whole range of things.
Okay.
From like enjoying a special meal, maybe trying a new recipe, or finally splurging on takeout from that fancy restaurant you've been eyeing,
Oh, yeah.
to spending time in nature, visiting a museum,
Okay.
or simply curling up with a good book.
It's like giving yourself permission to be a little selfish in the best possible way.
Yes.
Like, hey, it's my birthday. I can do whatever I want.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about prioritizing your own happiness and needs, which is a key component of self-care.
They also suggest pampering yourself.
Yes.
Right.
They're big advocates for creating a spa-like experience at home,
Uh-huh.
or even booking a professional massage.
Okay.
And there's some science behind this.
Oh, really?
Studies have shown that these types of self-care activities can release endorphins,
Okay.
reduce cortisol levels,
Interesting.
and generally just promote a sense of well-being.
So you're not just having a fun birthday, you're giving your body a scientific boost, too.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right.
Speaking of gifts, one of the things that stood out to me in their guide was the idea of buying yourself a birthday gift.
Yeah.
Is that something you see as a positive act of self-love?
Absolutely. It's about recognizing your own worth and celebrating yourself even without external validation.
It's like saying, hey, I'm awesome and I deserve something special, even if I'm the one giving it to myself. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It's more about the intention behind it.
Exactly.
Right. It's about acknowledging your own needs and desires and honoring them.
It's about that internal shift. Instead of waiting for someone else to recognize your worth, you're taking the initiative to like celebrate and appreciate yourself.
Yeah.
And that can be a really powerful experience.
So we've covered reflection, indulging ourselves, and even giving ourselves gifts.
Yeah.
What else does the LPOTS community suggest for making a solo birthday truly memorable?
Well, they acknowledge that even on a solo birthday, some people might still crave a bit of connection with loved ones.
Okay.
So they suggest maybe a virtual hangout,
Right.
or even just some phone calls or messages.
Right.
It's about finding the level of social interaction that feels right for you, even if it's not the traditional party setting.
That makes sense. It's not about isolating yourself. It's about choosing how you want to connect with others on your special day.
Exactly.
Now, there's one suggestion that I found particularly intriguing, and that's the idea of celebrating by giving back to others.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's a fantastic suggestion. The LPOS community really emphasizes the power of turning your birthday into an opportunity to spread kindness and make a positive impact.
Yeah.
They suggest things like donating to a charity,
Okay.
volunteering your time, or even just doing something kind for a stranger.
There's something really beautiful about using your birthday to not only celebrate yourself, but to also uplift others. It's like you're creating a ripple effect of positivity.
Exactly. And there's research to support that
Oh, wow.
studies have shown that acts of kindness, especially on significant days like birthdays,
Okay.
can trigger the release of endorphins, leading to what's often called a helper's high.
So you get that boost yourself.
It's a win-win situation. You're making someone else's day and boosting your own happiness in the process.
It's like your birthday becomes this catalyst for spreading good vibes.
Yeah.
And speaking of making the day memorable, the LPot's community has one more fantastic suggestion, and that's the idea of creating a unique birthday tradition, especially if you find yourself celebrating solo more often.
I love that idea. They give some examples like writing down life lessons you've learned over the past year,
Okay.
watching the sunrise from a special spot, or even just having a quiet moment of reflection in nature.
It's about finding something that resonates with you and establishing a ritual that makes those solo birthdays feel even more special.
Exactly. It's about creating a sense of continuity and having something to look forward to year after year.
It's like you're curating your own personal birthday experience.
Yeah.
One that's tailored to your individual preferences and desires.
For sure.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From starting the day with reflection
Yeah.
to indulging in activities we love,
Mm.
pampering ourselves, giving back to others, and even creating our own unique traditions. But at the heart of it all, there's one key message that the LPot's community really emphasizes, and that's
Don't forget to have fun.
yes,
Yeah.
dance, laugh, sing whatever brings you joy.
Right.
Let loose and embrace the celebration. It's your birthday, after all.
It's a celebration of life, and that's something worth cherishing, whether you're surrounded by loved ones or enjoying the peace of your own company.
So are you ready to hear about one final tip from the LPot's community that I think ties everything together beautifully?
All ears, what is it?
They suggest ending the day with a moment of gratitude.
Oh.
It's like bookending the celebration with a dose of appreciation.
Yeah, I love that.
Right.
It brings the whole experience full circle.
Yeah.
We start the day reflecting on the past and setting intentions for the future, and then we close it by expressing gratitude for all that we have.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful way to seal in all those positive birthday vibes.
Right. It's almost like taking a mental snapshot of all the joy and contentment you've cultivated throughout the day. You're not just letting the day slip away, you're consciously acknowledging and savoring the experience.
Exactly. And that act of savoring can actually amplify those positive emotions
Okay.
and make them last even longer.
Interesting.
It's like you're giving your brain a little reminder of all the good things that happened,
Uh-huh.
which can boost your overall mood and well-being.
So to recap, what we've learned from our deep dive into solo birthday celebrations with the LPot's community,
Yeah.
it's not about being alone,
Right.
but about embracing the freedom to create a day that's truly your own.
Yeah.
It's about shifting the focus inward,
Mm-hmm.
prioritizing self-care,
Yeah.
and finding joy in the simple act of celebrating you.
Yes, and what's interesting is that these principles can apply even if you're not celebrating solo.
Oh, really?
That intentionality,
Mhm.
that focus on what truly brings you joy,
Uh-huh.
that's something we can all bring to our birthday celebrations, regardless of who we're with.
Absolutely. Maybe you're still having a party, but you incorporate some of these ideas,
Yeah.
like taking some time for yourself in the morning to reflect, or adding a new tradition that feels personally meaningful. It's about making the day your own, even within a social setting.
Right. It's about finding that balance between connecting with others and honoring your own needs and desires.
For sure.
And speaking of those needs and desires, let's quickly recap some of the key takeaways from the LPOS guide.
Okay.
They're great reminders for anyone looking to inject a little more you into their next birthday celebration.
Okay, hit me with the highlights.
Well, first and foremost, start with gratitude. Take some time to reflect on the past year, acknowledge your growth, and set intentions for the future.
Then treat yourself to something special. Indulge in a delicious meal. Engage in your favorite hobbies, and don't forget to pamper yourself.
And if you're feeling generous, consider giving back to others. Spread a little birthday kindness and make the day even more meaningful.
And most importantly, have fun. Dance, laugh, sing, let your inner child run wild, and celebrate just for you.
Because ultimately, a birthday is a celebration of life.
Yeah.
And that's something worth cherishing, whether you're surrounded by loved ones or enjoying the peace of your own company.
Now, before we wrap up this birthday extravaganza,
Oh.
I want to leave you with a little thought experiment.
Okay.
Imagine yourself celebrating your next birthday alone. What unique tradition would you create to make it truly special.
What would you do that would make the day feel uniquely yours?
Would you finally try that pottery class you've been earning, or maybe take yourself on a sunrise hike to a breathtaking viewpoint?
Would you spend the day lost in a world of books and cozy blankets? Or create a culinary masterpiece in the kitchen just for you?
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
The key is to find something that resonates with you, something that sparks joy and makes you feel truly celebrated.
It's about tapping into your own personal preferences and creating an experience that feels authentically you.
So go ahead, let your imagination run wild and craft a birthday experience that's as unique and wonderful as you are. And if you're feeling extra creative, we'd love to hear your ideas.
We're always eager to hear from our listeners and discover the amazing ways you're personalizing your celebrations.
So until next time, keep diving deep, and remember, every birthday is a chance to celebrate the amazing journey that is your life.
Yeah, and that's a gift worth cherishing. Whether you have people there or not.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So true. Diving into this with you today has really opened my eyes to a whole new way of thinking about birthdays.
Yeah?
I think I might actually try a solo one myself.
I think you should.
Yeah.
It's a chance to really step outside of those expectations that society puts on us and connect with yourself.
Yeah.
Who knows, you might discover something you never knew existed about birthdays.
Yeah. I'm really intrigued. And I love that idea of creating my own little tradition, something just for me.
Yeah.
I think I'll start brainstorming right away. Thanks for guiding me through this. I feel like I've learned so much.
Of course.
Yeah.
Always happy to explore new ways of thinking about, traditions we all have.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is that you celebrate in a way that brings you joy.
Yeah.
Whether it's solo or with people, the key is to make it meaningful and authentic to you.
Well said. And to all our listeners out there, we hope this deep dive has inspired you to rethink your own birthday celebrations. Embrace the joy, honor your own needs, and don't be afraid to create a day that's truly your own. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep celebrating.